Okay, fasten your seatbelts. I am going to take you on a paradigm-shifting ride. All those things you've come to believe as absolute truths in HR and leadership, we're about to challenge. Many of the things that we have taught leaders for 30 to 40 years, we haven't even noticed, but they aren't working, and leaders aren't using them. Maybe you've noticed. Are you still trying to get them to fill out performance evaluations? Hey, I bet you if you try just one more year, you'll get it done. I have a confession to make. A lot of people cite me as an HR expert, but I did not start out my life as an HR professional. In fact, I have very little education in the HR realm, but I did enter into the school of hard knocks. You see, I started out life as a therapist, a marriage and family therapist. I was only 21 years old. I hadn't been married or had a family, but some HR person thought me qualified. Now, what I try and do is simplify any job I get in so you can just put it on autopilot, standardize it, operationalize it. That way you get reproducible results. They're sustainable, they're low risk, low cost. And so I did that with my therapy job. In fact, when I counseled couples, do you know that every couple comes in with the exact same two issues? Anybody know what they are? Money and sex. Somebody wants too much and somebody spends too much. What I started to do is to notice that everyone who came to me wanted two things. They wanted better results in their lives, and they wanted more happiness. And what's ironic is every organization I've ever worked with wants the same two things: better results and happiness that we call engagement. So as I worked to help people get better results and happiness, I started to come up with these basic rules that if you would just learn the rules, follow the rules, live by the rules, and quit arguing with reality, you could fast track at a very blink of an eye. You could have ultimate happiness and great results. And here are some of the rules I started to teach my clients. 1, suffering is completely optional. I'll repeat that. Suffering is completely optional, and most of the people we work with on a daily basis have completely forgotten this rule. They pull up a full schedule and they go, crap, must suffer. They do pre-suffering. They go, things are going good now, but I have a meeting at 1 with John. Let's all suffer. And then they do post-suffering. Things are going okay, but remember 1978. Let's re-suffer about that one. And I also had to teach people that most suffering is self-imposed, which is a little crazy when you think of how we run employee relations. It would take just a few minutes when somebody came in and says, I'm miserable, for us to say, well, choose happiness. And yet we know from the psychology evidence that it is about your choices. Then I got promoted to be a leader. And I realized that most of my employees not only had not learned these rules, and those rules I went on to research to see if they actually worked in the greater scale. And they became the topic of my newest book, Reality-Based Rules of the Workplace. And we'll talk to you a bit about that today. But as I became a leader, I took it very seriously. I was sent to this leadership boot camp that HR put on. And I was a bit amazed by what they were telling me. First thing they told me is, you are responsible for the happiness of others. We will measure whether you create an engaged workforce over time. I said, I'm responsible for their happiness? We call that dysfunctional codependency in the psych world. I go, seriously, that's what being a leader is? They said, oh yeah. And then they gave me all kinds of crazy advice that I tried, it didn't work. Here's one: keep an open door. You guys are still telling people this today. I tried it. I realized, 1, I got 0 work done. None. Notice the second thing. People who came by and said, hey, do you have a minute? Really needed 45 minutes. That was the average length of stay. The typical topic was someone not present, hearsay, speculation, and story. And the typical conclusion is, please do not do anything, I feel better. Now, I don't know, those of you giving this advice, if you've ever gone out and tested it, but if I went to my CEO and said, hey, I have a great business plan, I want to meet with my employees in 45-minute intervals with 0 ROI, 10 times a day, what do you think? It's crazy. I realized that my open door was a portal for drama. No one ever came through my open door to tattle on themselves. No one came in and said, I think I'm unfit for human consumption and I'm a horrid team player. Will you help me? And so I started to lead differently. I started to lead based on what I knew had helped my clients for so many years. And we built a dream team. We built a team that produced incredible results and were highly engaged. And I began to be asked to speak on the topic of reality-based leadership. And what I started to realize as I then headed up an HR department is it was very counter to what we've been preaching over the years. And so I want to start you on getting to know about this, what I consider a revolutionary new philosophy. It is time for us to teach leaders to lead differently, and it's time for us to go directly to the employees and help them understand that they are responsible for their own happiness and their own results, and I want to show you how.